What is up, gamers? We are here for season 5 of the YCL, the YouTube Challengers League. This is our third season playing in the YCL, and I am absolutely stoked to be back. We've got a real fun season up ahead of us and an opportunity to try and make a run for the title since we fell just short last season. And I think we've got the team to do it. We've got a really fun team, and I'm just going to do a little talking about it right now for this team analysis. I decided to put everything up on the slides at once just because I'm not good at technology and I always mess up when there's a slide for each Pokemon. So we're just going to do it like this. Other people like it like this just because they can see this whole team and they don't have to listen to me talk for this whole time. And they just be like, oh, wow, that's the team. Cool, that's all I needed. Bam, and they can leave. But if you want to stick around, I'll just talk about the team a little bit and what my thought process was while I was drafting. So I think we had like the 13th out of 16th pick or something like that. We were near the end, and so I have no idea how Blaziken got to us. It is Speed Boost Blaziken, and I feel like at this point we've kind of finished the trifecta in this league because season 1 we had Cinderace, season 2 we had Urshifu, and then this season we have Blaziken. So we kind of got the big three when it comes to fighting types in Draft League in terms of the top tiers. And I'm really excited to use Blaziken. I've never used it before, but it's one of those Pokemon that for a long time it was banned because Speed Boost is a really, really good ability, and it's on a Pokemon that has really good offensive typing, and it's a really powerful Pokemon, especially like in the case of like Blaziken. You know, it can if it sets up one Swords Dance, there's potential that it can just win a game immediately. And I think that's really fun. I think that's really cool to have, and I'm really surprised that it made it all the way down to us because we were pretty close to the wheel down at the bottom of the draft. So really excited to get Blaziken. And the thing about that is it means we had a really early pick for round 2. And so to pair with Blaziken, I went with Kyurem because I think they pair together really well. I don't know what most people tend to pair with Blaziken because I don't think there's a whole lot of leagues that allow Blaziken. And so I didn't really have anything to go off of. But I thought Blaziken really struggles with bulky water types, and Kyurem gets freeze dry, so it can handle those really well. Uh, it struggles with flying types, and Kyurem can deal with those pretty well. And Blaziken's going to be predominantly physical, while Kyurem's going to be predominantly special, but they can both go either way. And I think that's really nice as well. Kyurem does get like Dragon Dance Icicle Spear now this generation, which is really nice because it does allow flexibility. I'm probably going to be running it special most of the time just because Freeze Dry is a really good move and it's something that is really helpful for Blaziken. But I am really excited to use Kyurem because, again, it's a Pokemon I've never used. I generally don't draft Ice types just because I don't like the Rock weakness, and I think they're generally just not great in draft just because they're so frail usually. But I think this was my chance to use Kyurem because I do think it pairs really well with Blaziken, and I am really excited to use it. This is an item clause league, as you know if you've watched the previous seasons, and it's my only Pokemon that's weak to Rock, which is also really well besides Shellmet, but that doesn't count. But yeah, it's my only Pokemon that'll need Boots consistently, and so that is really nice because whenever I feel like I do need a Pokemon to wear Boots, Kyurem should have the slot open for it. So the next Pokemon I went with was also something to help Blaziken, and that's a Moongus. It's also there for the bulky waters in case I have to deal with an offensive water or like an offensive water type that I need to switch into. Amoonguss is there. I think Spore is just a really good move to have on any Pokemon, and it's a regenerator Pokemon, which means it can take lots of hits, switch out, and come back in, back healthy. And it's a Black Sludge defensive Pokemon, which is I think a really nice thing to have in a item clause league as well. Amoonguss is another Pokemon I've never used before, but it does get some cool moves like Foul Play, Stomping Tantrum, and Spore. So I am excited to use it. It can be a little bit passive, I think, but with enough, like I am a player that likes to go for double switches and that type of stuff, and I think it's a Pokemon that pairs pretty well with my playstyle, so I'm excited to use it as well. It's also a very, very slow Pokemon, so it can discourage Trick Room if we need to do that, but it's not the biggest issue right now. It is something that it does struggle with is that Blaziken's weak to ground types, and it's a grass type that is neutral to ground, which isn't great. But Amoonguss is bulky enough that it can usually handle ground types pretty well, so I'm not too worried about it. It's also a fighting resist, which is nice because Kyurem doesn't like to take fighting moves, and Blaziken isn't switching into anything, and it doesn't resist it either. So it was nice to pick up a fighting resist as well, because I think Amoonguss is a really good fighting resist. I can also run, I think it gets Effect Spore if I don't feel like running Regenerator some week, but it will probably be Regenerator pretty much every week. For the fourth pick, I picked up Lantern just because I love Lantern. That's about all there is to it. I just wanted to use Lantern, and I wanted to pick it up early because other people want to use Lantern nowadays too, and I don't want them to. It's a flying resist, which I needed because I had drafted a Amoonguss Blaziken and I didn't have anything to switch into flying moves. So that was really helpful. It's a ice resist to pair with the Amoonguss because I think these two will be my primary defensive Pokemon. It'll be pivoting around a lot, switching one in for the other and such. I just love Lantern. I'm getting close to drafting it 10 times at this point. It is my favorite draft league Pokemon to use, and I drafted it round 4 because rumor on the street was people were wanting to use it, and I couldn't let anyone else have it if I could stop them. So we got Lantern early. You know the deal. Volt Switch, Scald, Dazzling Gleam, that's about it. Sucker Punch. But it's the first Pokemon on this team that I've used before, and it's one of 2 Pokemon I've actually drafted before, which I'm actually 3, but I'm really excited to use it, and it's always a good season if we have Lantern on the team. The next pick was another Pokemon that I've used a couple times before, and I really, really enjoy it. It's Comfey. It's not a typical fairy type. It doesn't really have any immediate offense or immediate defense, but what I think it really uh, is highlighted for, and the reason it's so good is because of triage and priority on its Draining Kiss and that type of stuff, which is super helpful for a lot of threats in this league. Like the Urshifus out there that you can just bring this in, and as long as you're alive, you can out prioritize it and basically knock it out, which I think is huge. It's also a defogger, which is nice because I don't really want to deal with hazards right now, and it's my first removal. It also gets U-turn, which I love. It's aromatherapy, and I think it's a really, really good fit for this team specifically. It's another fighting resist as well, which is great. It's a dragon resist, which is nice because we had Kyurem and we didn't have any resists at this point. And I really just like it as a momentum Pokemon. I love that it gets things like Taunt, Leech Seed as well. And it's a Pokemon I really, really enjoy using as a pivot mon, especially. So my next few picks, I wanted to get back on the offensive side of the ball because I started with the 2 super offensive Pokemon and then a bunch of defensive Pokemon. And so next I picked up Taurus. I've been on a streak recently where I've really liked using low tier normal types as like the offensive ones. I know a lot of people like the defensive ones like Kangaskhan and Licky, but I've been really enjoying using like Exploud, and Taurus is another Pokemon I really wanted to try out because it has a great speed tier and it hits really hard with the Life Orb Sheer Force Body Slams. And for 4 points, I was like, I can't pass up on it. It just seemed like a really, really good deal. And I really like the speed tier with my team because I don't have a ton of speed right now. I have Blaziken and Comfey, which don't really worry about their speed because Blaziken will get the speed boost and Comfey is triage anyways. But it is nice to have a Pokemon that's above 100 speed that's actually an offensive presence, and it's quite fast. I think it's 110 base speed, so it's really nice to pick up. And it's a pretty simple mon. It just clicks, sheer force moves and goes pretty fast. It was a great low tier, I thought, and I just picked it up here because I figured it might go as soon as people started going into their value picks. The next Pokemon I picked up was Landorus Eye. This is Sandforce Lando, not Sheer Force like last season, if you remember our championship game. But I really wanted to use it, and I really needed a flying and a ground type at this point, so I figured, why not combine them? We give ourselves another Defogger, we give ourselves our first Stealth Rocker, and it's more momentum, it's more knockoff. All the moves that I love to click. And I think this one is going to be fun because I can run it setups like Double Dance, Swords Dance, Rock Polish pretty easily on this team. I think it fits pretty well, but I can also run the support with Knockoff, U-Turn, Defog, Stealth Rock type of sets very easily. And it's a Pokemon that I really wanted to use. I haven't used either Landorus form in a very, very long time, and I've never used this one in draft. So I'm really excited to try it out. It's also pretty cool because we did have Amoonguss, but we also have Lantern and Blaziken that deal with ice types pretty well, so I didn't think it was too big of an issue to get something that's 4 times a week. But I really did just want it as, something for electric type, something for ground spam, so that they're both a lot more difficult to just spam against my team. Next up, I spent a good amount of points on Landorus, so I decided to drop down all the way down the bottom and pick up Shellmet. I've just been really wanting to use Shellmet recently. I don't know why, but I figured this was the team to do it. It's got spikes, it's got recover, it's got baton pass, and What more do you need? That's all you really need on Shellmet. And I'm only gonna bring it, once or twice, but it's super fat. You can't crit it, and it's a cool little dude. So I figured I'd pick him up. Definitely a little bit early, but like it's Shellmet. It's okay. I don't really care. Next up, I was like, well, I need a dark type because my team does not deal with psychic types well all right now because we have Blaziken and Moongus and no resists. And I didn't really want to spend a lot of points, and I was like, you know what? We'll just get a little Impersion. I've used it before once in the TPL. It was fine. It's got fast parting shot, so like I like it. Fur coat's nice. It's kind of just fast and annoying for your opponent. Not the best dark type, but I didn't really want to spend a lot of points on the dark types because I didn't really want to. I didn't really like the ones that were left at that point, I think. And so we picked up a little Impersion. I'm comfortable with it. It's a little bit better than Galarian Linoon, so I figured I might as well. And I like it. It's nice just because I think Parting Shot's one of the better moves in the game. And the fact that it's so fast, it can deal with, some of the other fast offensive threats like Spectre and Dragapult if you just throw a Scarf on or something like that. So we picked up Persian, happy with it. Not much to say about it because I won't be bringing it more than, once or twice when there's a real scary Psychic type most likely. But we have it and it's cool. Next up, I had my final couple picks planned out together. I was always planning on picking up a really high value pick at the very end, so I wanted to save my points, and I picked up Lycanroc Midnight. It's really just here as a secondary rock setter because I only had Landorus going into this, and I think Lycanroc's just a cool Pokemon. It's not very good just because it's not got any of the things that Lycanroc Dusk has. It doesn't have Tough Claws, it doesn't have a Cell Rock, it doesn't have Speed. But he's a cool dude. He has no guard Stone Edge, so like if Rock is really good in matchup, he can be useful. And I just really wanted a super cheap Stealth Rocker that I could see myself bringing. And I didn't want it to be something super bulky or defensive like a Rhydon or anything like that, just because I thought my team needed a little bit more offense in the lower tiers rather than defense at this point. But my last pick is another top tier that I've never used before. I don't really like it at all, but it was basically the only Steel type left just at all, and I thought I kind of needed one at this point. So I picked up Melmetal. It was kind of just one of those things where, like, around the halfway point of the draft, I saw that everyone had taken a Steel type and I hadn't, and there was none left. And I saw Melmetal sitting at the top, and I was like, well, I might as well start budgeting my points so that I can get Melmetal at the end because no one else is going to grab it, and it's basically the only Steel type left. And it's weird because like I'm not looking forward to using it, but it's also always a pain in the butt to prep for. So I'm not sure how it's going to go. Like, it's super slow, but it hits like a truck, and on the physical side, it takes a ton of hits. So, like, it could go either way. I think Steel is just something that I needed on this team because, Freeze Dry was super spammable against me specifically. And it's, something that's an ice resist, it's a flying resist. It kind of just pairs with Blaziken and Kieran pretty well. And I think that was pretty important. There's nothing crazy about it. Double Iron Bash, you can run Banded, you can run Assault Vest, you can run Shucka, the usual. And I think it's going to be fun. I think this team as a whole, it's a lot of Pokemon that I'm not comfortable with, but I think when you put them together with the things that are like staples on our team, like Lantern, I think it makes a really fun team, and it's super scary offensively. Our top three trio of Blaziken, Kyurem, Melmetal, I think is super scary for teams to prep for. And if I bring those three every week with a couple of defensive options, depending on what the matchup is, I think this is going to be a really tough team for people to prep for. We are quite top heavy with those three, but I think we got some super good value picks like Taurus and Amoonguss that I'm not too worried about it. And I'm really looking forward to this season. First week one, we're going up against Makeda. We always battle him in the YCL. Don't know why, but it's just fate, I think. And I'm really looking forward to it. And I guess I'll see you guys then. I don't got much else to say, but thanks for watching if you made it this far. And I'll see you next week. Bye.